about Texas and that running attack? 292 yards. They average 6 yards a carry.
Okay, it's really simple. If you look at their 11 wins, they average 189 yards rushing per game. In their 2 losses, they average about 30. Today, 292 yards. Kelvin Banks, the Outland Trophy winner, they control the line of scrimmage, Kevin. You heard Quinn Ewers talk about it. There was an emphasis put on the run game throughout the week, and the big boys up front. Anytime you rush for almost 300 yards, I hear you with the running backs, but those 5 guys up front, along with the tight end, you got to give them a lot of credit. And Sark understands this. Remember, when Sark came to Texas, he wanted to build this team like an SEC team.
Yes.
What do they do down south? They run the football. Great job by Texas running the football, establishing that type of dominance in the trenches.
They have size and depth. A little bit on Ewers, though, too. He deserves some flowers. 202 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. That INT, really not his fault. But when you saw Ewers play today, that ankle looked much better than it did in Atlanta in the SEC championship.
He's not a fast guy, but his movement skills were there. His ability to move and elude, almost like Tom Brady was in the pocket. Brady was never fast, but Brady could maneuver. His pocket presence was outstanding. I'm not comparing the two, but from a standpoint of movement, he was that today. The touchdown to Gunnar Helm, I love the fact that they got more people involved. And remember, they're probably going to get Isaiah Bond back. Their deep threat is going to come. So now you add him to Wingo and Helm, how they run the football. Maybe one of the more impressive performances we've seen so far, and we still got Tennessee and Ohio State to go.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Texas, probably the 2 teams that look the best so far.
And led by the physicality of their defense on both sides, right?
Exactly.
And up next for Texas, they've got the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and that is the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day on ESPN against Arizona State. Here's how they got there. You know, early in the game, Cade Klubnik returning home, the Austin boy finding Antonio Williams, and the Tigers taking the lead. Don't do that. Don't do that 8 minutes into a game
how
on
you
the road.
night this early?
Yeah, and then there's Jaden Blue. And Boog, he had that Getty up that was faster than everybody on the field.
It was almost as if the Clemson defenders didn't understand how fast he was. They took bad angles. They did not know how to tackle him. And early on, Kev, you just saw Sark calling really good plays. That hole right there, Kev, me and you could have scored through that hole. It was so big. The dominance up front was established early on, and if you're Dabo, you had to be worried right about now.
So Quintrevion, Wisner going in, and then this is the play. You know, Clemson had that field goal. Now it's an 11-point game, and then what did Texas do in the final minute and a half? They go 65 seconds down the field, and Ewers finding Gunnar Helm in the end zone. Then Klubnik here to Jarvis Green. Klubnik played really well, over 300 yards passing.
He played well, Kev, but they put too much on him. Clemson couldn't run the football, only 76 yards rushing for Clemson, and now you put everything on Cade Klubnik. His stats will say he had a really good game, but when they needed him to make plays throughout the game to keep drives alive, third downs, he just could not do it. And Clemson's going to rule their inability to run the football in this game.
You know who ran the ball well? That guy, Blue. My goodness, 77 yards to the house. That was the backbreaker.
And think about this, Kev. Clemson had cut it to 7 points. They came out, run the football. When in trouble, let's go to what we do best. Texas went to the run game. And then here you go, Kev. 4th and goal.
Yeah.
You're going to run the football at maybe the strength of the Texas defense, those 2 defensive tackles. Not a smart call, in my opinion, by
38-24 Texas with the win. Keep in mind, Texas, they're 12-0 against everybody not named Georgia this season. 0-2 against the Dogs, and that one was a close one.
And Georgia's still in the tournament, by the way.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Let's take a look here specifically as the breakdown. We're talking about a Clemson team that gave up 151 yards per game on the ground, and Texas nearly doubled it.
And all these teams in this tournament have flaws. You have to make them play to their flaws. If you look at Texas, their flaw in the end is when they can't run the football, but you have to take it away, and Clemson couldn't take it away today. It wasn't even about one back. It was all of them, Kev, downhill, whether it was Blue, Wisner, left, right, inside, outside. It was like Burger King. Have it any way you want to, Kev. They had it that way today.
Blue had 146 yards on the ground. Wisner 110 yards on the ground. We came into this game hyping Texas's defense. You called them the #1 defense in the country. They gave up a lot of yards. What did they show you in a game like this where Arizona State can write down a few things and say, okay, what can we do? How do we attack it?
Well, Kev, understand this. Clemson is a good football team, and so I'm not going to take anything away from them. They gave up some yards, but in the end, the 4th down stop on the goal line.
Yeah.
Their ability to take the run game away. Good defenses take away what you want to do.
Yes.
Clemson wanted to run the football with Phil Maffa today. The Texas defense took that away. I'm gonna make you play with one hand tied behind your back. So when you go into the game against Arizona State, I guarantee you they're gonna say, We may lose to Arizona State, but one way we will not lose is Cam Scatterboot. We're not going to let him dictate the tempo nor the physicality of the game. And I thought Texas, even though they gave up yards, they did a good job of taking away what Clemson wanted to do, which was run the football with – and I know Phil Maffa was banged up.
Yeah.
But they took away the run game all throughout the game.
Scatterboot, by the way, finishing 5th in the Heisman race because of a fantastic closeout to the season. He was amazing for Arizona State. Second meeting now as they get ready here. Arizona State versus Texas, and that is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming on New Year's Day on ESPN. Last time they met was the 2007 Holiday Bowl. Keep in mind, Texas' first Peach Bowl appearance ever. Texas, 11 of their 12 wins by double digits. If it's close, though, Arizona State, they know how to win those close games. They are 6-1 in one-score contests.
Yeah, I understand they're close in those 6-1 contests, but they've never faced an opponent like they're about to face right now.
That is definitely fair, and some rest there, and maybe they get Bond ready for that game for the offense.